of silence.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Welcome to a Friday afternoon Wyoming Sports Talk Today, being brought to you by Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Delrange, directly across from Powers Field, and of course from Menards. For a limited time, you must try. It has to be number one on the list. Their Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich. Oh, does it look good. Also, too, for this time of year, perfect timing for the Strawberry Passion Tea Lemonade. Brand new the menu, again, for a limited time over at Ray and Cindy's Place, Chick-fil-A, here in Cheyenne at the corner of Windmill and Delrange, where they serve up 3 squares 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. Kia of Cheyenne over on Nation Way. Oh, yes, this is the time of year you get out and kick a few tires, take a test drive, and then slide on the dotted line because we're going to start looking at the 2020 model year coming up. So, again, AJ and the crew has some great deals on the 2019 fleet of Kias right now on the lot. So check out everything Kia of Cheyenne has to offer over on Nation Way. Oh, by the way, bring in your current bucket of bolts. They definitely want your trade-ins as well. Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Platte Valley Bank times 2. Rick and the gang over on Vanda High, and of course the East Side gang at the corner of College and Pershing. Again, banking done the old-fashioned way, done the high technology way, and everything in between, including HELOC loans, auto loans, home loans, remodel loans. It's all for you at Platte Valley Bank. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs. Again, with your doctor's prescription, Gene, his great staff will fill those said prescriptions. You can do it inside, or you can use a convenient drive-thru. They're open Monday through Saturday next door to Texas Roadhouse, Medicap Pharmacy. Mondello's Pizzeria, Paisan cuisine at its best. And again, Joe Mondello with the family recipes that he brought with him from the east side of the U.S., East Coast area. And I'm telling you, over at Mondello's Pizzeria, year in, year out, the food is delicious. It's always fresh and made from scratch. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Lennox Auto Body and the Auto Glass and Detail Center, part of Lennox Enterprises. Again, you will find the Auto and Truck Repair Center on Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard. First Year Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, offering a 3.1 APY on their 27-month CD. That's an annual percentage yield of 3.1%. See the wonderful staff over there. Banking done the old-fashioned way. Customer service always first and foremost at First Tier Bank. And we want to say thank you to Taco John's of Cheyenne. Their sirloin steak burrito for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You could have it all the time. And over on the South Greeley Highway, as they rebuild that South Greeley location, go to the Taco John's food truck, which is located in the parking lot over at the Outlaw Saloon. And again, delicious Taco John's cuisine served out of the food truck for Taco John's. And last but not least, we want to thank Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service over on Highway 30, your exclusive home for Jayco RVs, fifth wheels, travel trailers, and again, check out their special of the week, a Jayco product. And again, Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service with great pricing plans right now and financing packages in place where you can tour the countryside in your Jayco RV, travel trailer, or fifth wheel. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service over on Highway 30. We get things underway with our scoreboard. It's being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. We go first to Nick.
A little recapping last night on softball and baseball around this area in town with Cheyenne Extreme softball, as it will be the final home game for the Cheyenne Extreme before they head out, at least coming up, at least I do believe leaving Sunday, if not Monday, for Florida. But last night, doubleheader action against the Colorado Rockettes here in town over at Converse Park, a game we got to at least able to see. First game of the doubleheader against the Rockettes, 12-5 victory for Cheyenne Extreme. Game number 2 of at least Thursday night contest against the Rockets, 11-5 victory for them. So with the 2 wins, the Cheyenne Extreme go to 35-9-2 overall. Cheyenne Post 6 as well. They were in action last night down in Denver, Colorado. They were taking on USA Prime. They lost, unfortunately, that game 9-4. Today, they also had 2 early morning contests. Game 1 of today against the Utah Goals, where they won that contest 10-1. Game number 2 against the Lightning Blue, where they won that one 9-3, a final in that. With the 2 wins today, the 1 loss yesterday, Cheyenne Post 6 are 33-14 overall. And last but not least, Cheyenne Mustangs in action last night at Powers Field, taking on University High School. They got the win 8-1 with that contest. They will have a game coming up tonight, 5:30 is the start time over at Powers Field, as they'll take on Liberty Common. But with last night's win, Cheyenne Mustangs are 14-15 overall.
Major League Baseball on the docket for this evening. 5 o'clock games will be the Indians at the Orioles at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Royals, Blue Jays in the Rogers Center, Braves, Mets at Citi Field in New York. It will be the Rangers and the Rays at the Trop, Nats, Tigers at Comerica, Cubs and the Reds at Great American Ballpark, Phillies, Marlins at Marlins Park in the 6 o'clock hour. The Brewers will play host to the Pittsburgh Pirates, again at Miller Park. The White Sox at Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago. They'll have a date with the Minnesota Twins, the weekend series. Mariners, Astros will hook up at Minute Maid, 6:40. Dodgers and Rocks again at Coors Field. Gosh, Antonio Sensatella, please go the distance because we don't want to see the Rockies bullpen out there again. Rockies, Dodgers again at Coors Field. Athletics and the Halos tonight in SoCal. That'll be in the 8 o'clock hour, along with the Padres hosting the Cardinals at Petco. Diamondbacks, Giants tonight. That will be at Oracle. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Yo, this is your cup holder talking. You know me, the little round thing between your car seats. Now, listen, we need to talk. Now, I normally have a nice cold bottle of Mountain Dew in me, but at the moment, I'm empty. That's right, no Mountain Dew. Nothing in here but a couple of quarters and a dime. A fully capable cup holder like me just carrying your loose change, it's embarrassing. Look, I'm not made for loose change. I'm round like a bottle of Mountain Dew. Glistening, cold, and delicious. I'm made to keep Mountain Dew within reach at all times, so you're never far from that incredible bold citrus kick whenever you need it. Just inches from your hand. So find a store already, grab some Dew, toss it back, then place that bottle where it belongs, and put that loose change back in your pocket. Mountain Dew. Do the do.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Human history has shown anything is possible with inspiration and hard work. The 4-minute mile, a man on the moon, a water skiing squirrel, and now sirloin steak burritos from Taco John's.
Sirloin steak burritos are back at Taco John's. Stuffed with hand-carved sirloin steak and bold flavors like the melty, savory grilled cheese steak burrito, plus steak and shrimp or steak and potato olays. And for the morning, 2 steak and egg breakfast burritos. Sirloin steak burritos are back, but only for a limited time. Olay the Day at Taco John's.
Family owned and operated, Riverbend Nursery and Stone Company offers many different types of rock, stones, boulders, and other decorative products that make a perfect addition to your yard or landscape. You'll find river rock, flagstone, lava rock, pavers, along with compost, mulch, and a lot more. So stop into Riverbend Nursery and Stone Company today to find out what will be best for improving your front or backyard. A family tradition since 1977, Riverbend Nursery and Stone Company, open 7 days a week, all season long, on North Yellowstone Road in Cheyenne. First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. This is the time of year you will see motorcycles riding around town and on the highways. All motorists are reminded to safely share the road with motorcycles and bicyclists and to be on the alert to keep these riders from harm. These could be your neighbors, your friend, or someone's mother or father. Motorcycles and bikes are cautioned to make themselves visible to other motorists. When you come to a stop, always look left and right before proceeding. This will help prevent an avoidable accident and will keep everyone safe. To
To all drivers on Wyoming roads, be mindful and vigilant. Paid for by Federal Highway Safety Funds.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 89. Then for tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 54. On Saturday, it'll be partly cloudy with highs around 87. And on Saturday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 54.
You're listening to Cheyenne's new Sports Talk Authority. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk today, Friday afternoon, in place of Skipper Sheldon Baxter. We got Coach Reed Thompson joining us here today, and we appreciate that. Reed comes in again. Last night action for the Mustangs, and of course we gear up for the weekend and more baseball. But
and again, they will have a game coming up tonight, 5:30
Right.
at Powers Field. So again, encourage folks to head over to Powers Field. Liberty Common is going to be the opponent tonight as they compete at least day two, game two of the Mustangs Summer Classic happening this weekend here in town.
So as Nick mentioned in the scoreboard, the Mustangs now 14-15, a game under the Mendoza line. I guess, in your opinion, along with Sheldon, the maturation process of this team, are you starting to see it get to that peak right now? The younger guys starting to understand the system. You have a couple veterans on that team. Are they starting to all mesh together as one?
Absolutely, they have come a long way since the beginning of the season. Even since the last time I was in here speaking with you guys, it's been cool to see them grow up and see some of the leadership take place and some of the success they've been having on the field. Just the month of June, we've been 8-3 so far, so creeping back up towards getting over 500.
What's the most prevalent thing that you see with this team right now in that maturation process?
A lot of it was throwing strikes, getting early outs, and playing fundamental defense. We just preach on making the routine plays routine. We don't ask them to do anything spectacular. If they do, great, but don't give them easy outs or free outs, and limit the extra bases.
And the surprising thing with 2019, as we talk with either the Cheyenne Extreme, Cheyenne Post 6, where we've talked about missing games, missing opportunities, missing chances to develop those players for both those teams here in town. For the Cheyenne Mustangs, as much as you are playing game number 30 here coming up tonight, so far, weather hasn't really been too much of a factor. It was last weekend, missed out on Saturday's contest here in town due to more rain as we had out here. But other than that, though, as we were talking off air, about only 6 games so far the Cheyenne Mustangs have missed. You as a team have been very fortunate so far this year of not having to shift around games, trying to figure out what spaces we can put in these missed opportunities throughout this season.
Right, and we were able to squeeze a couple in later in the season, but that gets tough with, we don't want to put any of our pitchers at risk throwing too much, so it's not worth ruining a pitcher's arm to try to squeeze a doubleheader in here or there. But days we've gotten rained out, we've been able to do some simulated inter squads and get some guys action on the mound and some live ABs, so enough to stay sharp and prepared for some of these upcoming tournaments.
14-15, we're just about ready to flip the calendar over to July. This is when things get hot and heavy, in addition to the weather, and of course, leading into August as well. But this is where you get into the meat and potatoes of the schedule. 29 games down, you still have a bunch to go.
Right. We have a couple big tournaments coming up. We have the 4th of July Wood Bat Shootout next weekend, along with finishing this tournament up, and then state tournament coming up shortly after that. So a lot of games in the back half of the schedule. We also have a few more league games. Like I mentioned, we had to reschedule some in there. So definitely need our pitchers to be efficient and try to get through as many of these games as we can.
You mentioned Wood Bat Tournament. Again, the younger guys have been brought through the system pretty much in metal. So, again, making that shift. Again, a bat's a bat. Mm-hmm. But you gotta know how to use a wood bat, because these guys never been taught a wood bat.
Yeah, you get away with a little bit of stuff with a metal bat. The barrel's a little bit bigger. They can balance them out a little bit more. So if your swing has any length in it at all with a wood bat, you end up getting beat. So it's a good chance for them to figure out how to shorten their swing and how to compete a little bit at the plate. So in the long run, it'll be good for them.
Looking at this Cheyenne Mustangs team being in attendance at a few games, even last night, taking on that University High School squad, a very talented team that at least in game before that you saw them putting up, I do believe, about 14 runs in that contest. But for the Mustangs, it seems like at least recently with this team, it is a team that has kind of a bit slow out of the gates offensive-wise. But once you do start clicking, this team finds its kind of roots, so to speak, of what we saw last year with the Mustangs team that was an offensive powerhouse. Are you kind of noticing that as well, too, being in the dugout, watching this team, that it is a kind of slow offensive team, but once it clicks, it really clicks?
Yeah, we'd like for them to score earlier in the game, but University was a well-coached team, and they had a pretty decent arm on the mound, and I appreciate our guys when they have a good pitcher going, just grind it out, have a lot of quality ABs. We ended up having 19 quality at-bats, and he started getting tired late in the game, started making a couple mistakes and walked a couple guys, and we had a couple big hits there late, so they really flipped the table. So it was fun to see them grind a game out like that.
As we talk about, at least with this weekend, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday now, I do want to mention as well, too, is something that you alluded to, at least with the Mustang Summer Classic Championship. Sunday is not going to happen, unfortunately. Instead, it's going to be moved to Saturday, so at least you're going to just kind of bulk, at least tournament pool play and the championship all on Saturday coming up tomorrow here in town at Powers Field. But regarding this Mustang Summer Classic, what teams are we seeing right now a part of this? Are we looking at just kind of Colorado-only schools and teams? I mean, who is all competing to at least this weekend?
Yeah, most of these teams are Colorado club ball teams. We have a few high school teams out of Colorado up here as well. A couple talented teams. All the teams are very well coached, so a lot of good baseball going on over at Powers Field this weekend.
Talking about coaching, you and Sheldon, and again, you go back to college days in addition to him coming over and taking over the program right now. Talk about the interaction that you guys have together, because obviously the guys that are wearing the uniforms as well need to see that the upper management part is getting along as well, too.
Right, yeah, it's been fun for us, and we're on the same page a lot about things we want to work on, things we see. We kind of see the game the same way, so we're pretty much hand in hand with as far as coaching and practices go. So it's been fun and smooth sailing for us on that side.
And it was a little different too, compared to years past, where Sheldon had to come over as soon as his season was over, high school wise in Florida. As you look ahead, and again too, you kind of start preparing for 2020 as well, even though there's still a lot of 2019 left. Do you see the scheduling picking up more teams next year? Do you go east? Do you go west? More south? North? What are you guys looking at right now as far as scheduling, or are people calling you?
Yeah, we're absolutely looking to expand a little bit. Now that they're going to be a year older, we got everybody coming back, so we can pick up the intensity a little bit. Hopefully we can get a couple more arms so we can play a little bit heavier schedule. But we'll have to just wait and see what that entails. But definitely some growth coming in the schedule, hopefully.
Speaking of the schedule, again, tonight, 5:30 at Powers Field, Liberty Common, the opponent you'll be seeing tonight. How much do you know about this team? What do we expect out of this, at least Liberty team, for folks who do attend and watch Mustangs versus this Common squad there at Powers Field tonight?
I saw them play last night for the first time, and they're a very well-coached squad. They play small ball really well. They laid down probably 9 or 10 bunts successfully, moving runners. So they like to play fundamental defense, small ball you a little bit, and if you make the mistake, they'll jump all over you. So we need to make sure we're fundamental and we're ready to go defensively.
Regarding this Mustangs team, as we talk about skills and developing this team throughout this season, what is still in something that we've kind of talked week by week with Sheldon, but we'll ask you as well to get your perspective on things, Reed. But what is kind of the main Achilles heel, so to speak, of this Mustangs team that we're still working on, whether it is fielding, whether it's outfield presence, whether it is hitting? I mean, what is still the one thing that is a little, at least holding back this Mustangs team from being that kind of high-quality caliber team?
Right. I wouldn't say it's one aspect. I'd say overall it's consistency. We might go out and put up 14 runs on a team and beat them 14-0 and turn around and lose 9-2. So, just having consistent at-bats, consistent quality at-bats, consistently hitting our spots on the mound, making the routine plays. Sometimes a guy will make a spectacular play and turn around and kick a ball down the line. So just getting more consistent, just kind of all aspects of the game.
Not your first rodeo as a player and now as a coach, but we're getting into the time of year where finally the warmth kicks in, especially up here in this part of the world. And again, more of a drier heat than it is maybe down south a little bit. But these young guys, may not be accustomed to this because, again, we've had kind of, very temperate temperatures here throughout the course of the springtime. So you guys as coaches now, what's the stress to these younger guys? Hey, you don't wear an S on your chest. listen to us. We know what's good for you.
Right. Yeah. Well, a lot of, especially when we go down to some of these tournaments in Denver, it's usually hotter down there. So, and we may be sitting at the field for a couple hours in a break. So getting them out of the heat, getting them water, and making sure they get enough rest and taking care of their bodies.
What about pitchers too? Because again, aside from the Chamberlain youngster, you got younger guys out there that think, hey, I can go the distance for you, coach.
Yeah, you go out for a mound visit and they're always telling you, I got this. But, even if their arm is not getting fatigued, you can see just the fatigue in their body, their stamina. So that's something you definitely got to watch out for and try to avoid having a big inning as they start to wear down.
Keep it on the health theme as we ask every other team. We'll get an update on the Mustangs, but how are we doing overall health-wise? I would assume little bangs and cuts or, just kind of going through the season, you'll have the strains or maybe that, but overall health of the Mustangs, are we looking pretty good so far?
Yeah, looking good and looking better. We had a pitcher, Grayson, broke his finger a couple weeks ago, and he is now back with us. He pitched in relief a little bit last weekend for us and threw well, so we expect he'll throw either tonight in relief or start a game tomorrow.
Well, that's perfect here. And then also, too, I'm assuming at least we're going to wrap things up here very quickly, but something that was also passed along towards me and be at least remiss not to mention this, and hopefully, Reed, you can talk a little bit about this, but coming up at least in a few weeks, it'll be here sooner than we know, but Tuesday, July 16th over at Powers Field, the Cheyenne Mustangs will be hosting their baseball clinic, skills and drills camp over there at Powers Field, ages 7 to 14, costs about $25. Get a hold of at least your pops, it looks like, Rick Thompson, for more information, CheyenneMustangs.com. But for parents, players, young ones who are maybe interested, didn't get a chance to go out at other camps, but want to take advantage of the Mustangs baseball clinic, skills, and drills camp, what exactly does it entail?
It's a pretty fast-paced environment. We can squeeze as much baseball in and teach them as much as we can in a short amount of time, and hopefully they're able to walk away with at least a handful of things that they can work on as they finish their season up and move into the off-season. But working on getting a couple of our college returners that are home from school to come help us out. So should be a lot of good coaches out there and should be a good opportunity for those youngsters to learn.
And again, more information, CheyenneMustangs.com. Walk-ups are welcome as well, too, on that day. Again, July 16th, a Tuesday at Powers Field. Also, too, at least with the 25 entry cost, also, too, a free arm sleeve and lunch is provided as well, too, courtesy of the Cheyenne Mustangs. So a nice little bonus there.
All right. Well, Reed, we want to thank you so much for joining us. And when we come back after this timeout, we're going to talk with, we're going to introduce you to one of the players on the Cheyenne Mustangs. That will be Xander Jarosh joining us here on 1480 KRAE. We're back after these words. First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Right now it's time to head over to Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service for low prices on outstanding RVs in Wyoming. Your local, exclusive Jayco dealer wants you to check out their closeout deals as well as their 2019 inventory of trailers, fifth wheels, and toy haulers. You can save up to 30% on select models with approved credit. You can find them at 6102 East Highway 30. Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service is a proud sponsor of LCCC men's and women's basketball, also our local high school teams too.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Your locally owned and operated radio stations, KYOI-FM and 1480 KRAE AM, are just that, local. Serving Cheyenne and Laramie County, where your advertising dollar stays local too. It doesn't end up in Colorado, Oklahoma, New Hampshire, or even New York. We conduct business here, we shop here, and we live here. And we support our entire community 24/7, 365. Just because it has a window dressing doesn't mean it isn't a facade. A reminder from KYOI and 1480 KRAE.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-through window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-through window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. Our Super Radio buys heard only right here feature Black Velvet Canadian Whiskey, 1.75-liter bottle, $11.99. Keystone Light or Ice, 30-pack, 12-ounce cans, $18.99. And Tito's Handmade Vodka, 750-milliliter bottle, $15.99. Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low-price leader.
For almost 60 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Add to that live play-by-play sports featuring high school football and basketball, along with LCCC men's and women's basketball. Now combo that with KYOY FM and you have Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM and FM radio stations. But we don't stop there. We also have 2 FM translators which serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYOY. And that equals a lot of bang for your advertising dollar. Radio yesterday and now today, along with our websites, web streams, and digital ventures makes us your one-stop shop. For more information, please call Larry Proetti at 307-637-0301.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame. Let's play ball! You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk today, Cheyenne Mustangs Day, as again it's the Mustang Summer Classic going on over at Powers Field, and we know we want to get this youngster out to the ballpark as soon as we can.
He's got time.
Jarosh. Well, I know, but
2 hours until game time.
Hey, I want to get to the ballpark as early as I can. I absorb it all when I'm out there. Anyway, Xander Jarosh joins us, and thanks for joining us here on 1480 KRAE. Xander, a little bit about you, still in school, and you will be going to
Central.
You get a little closer to the microphone, so everybody
get
can
on
hear
top
you.
of that. Yeah, absolutely. Want to hear all this. So talk about at least, again, you'll be a sophomore, as we understand, at Cheyenne Central. But before we get into the high school aspects, again, focusing on right now here in the summertime, competing for the Cheyenne Mustangs. First year with the varsity squad here, playing for the Mustangs right now. But how long have you been a part of the Mustangs family? How long have you been playing baseball for them?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. This is going to be my 3rd year playing on the Mustangs. I started when I was 13, and then last year was our 14U team, and then this year they brought me up to the varsity.
So what are the differences between, again, at the 14-year or at least playing for kind of the lower down, almost like a JV squad, to now being a part of the big club for the Cheyenne Mustangs? Have you noticed any differences, whether it's speed, play of the game, quickness? Have there been any noticeable differences to you?
Well, the game all around is just faster. Like, you have to be way more aware compared to last year, and everything just goes into a lot more detail compared to last year.
A fastball comes under your chin a lot faster, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Real quick, what positions do you play?
I play middle infield and third base, and then I like to pitch, but basically anywhere that the coach wants to put me, I can play.
So
is there a select position that you enjoy more than the other?
Well, right now, I see myself as our starting third baseman when Chamberlain isn't pitching. When Chamberlain pitches, then I'll go to shortstop, but third base is probably my primary position.
What have you learned to make you that more experienced this season? What have you learned by being on this varsity team?
Well, I just learned that there's a lot that I can still get better at. Like last year, I think I was pretty naive, and I thought that I was all that. But this year, it really opened my eyes that I need to keep working hard to get where I want to be.
Now, this is a young group of guys, so obviously you're familiar with a lot of these guys. As you make this move now to the varsity team, and as Nick mentioned, 14 and 15, still a lot of baseball left. I know you guys aren't patting each other on the back going, hey, we're getting close to being 500, but how's this team maturing together? I asked that of Coach Thompson. Let me ask you, how are you guys getting along?
Well, I love this team. This team's like my family. I think since the start of the year, we've all grown together. We've all gotten a lot better and a lot closer, and it's thanks to a lot of leaders on our team. And everyone's just getting along right now, and we're just focused on playing good ball.
And again, good ball hopefully will be played tonight again, 5:30 at Powers Field, Liberty Common versus the Cheyenne Mustangs in the Mustangs Summer Classic. Again, encourage all folks to head on out to the ballpark and go and support the Mustangs tonight. As we talk about, or at least getting the understanding, again, few short seasons with the Mustangs, or at least a part of the Mustangs family, but I'm assuming been playing baseball since T-ball days, or okay, so you're accustomed to it. But a little factoid that we got from Coach Thompson is as well too regarding, you're still a part of at least the local little leagues. Understand that you have some sort of scheduling obligation as well too here in town.
Oh yeah, so over at CJL with all of the younger guys, I umpire over there, and then lately I've been doing the scheduling for all the other umpires, so just taking on a bigger role over there.
Now, again, as we open up our questioning, you're going to be going to Central as a sophomore. Baseball, wish you could play it all year round, but you can't. But, you look like a young man that is pretty athletic. So tell us a little bit of other sports that you're interested in.
Well, this year I'm going to play football. I didn't play football last year just because I was trying to focus on fall baseball. But this year I wanted to get back in the weight room, especially for football, just to help build strength for baseball. And then I play basketball as well. And that's just helped me get faster and quicker, which all of it I just wanted to translate to the baseball field.
We'll talk very quickly about the football aspect with Coach Apodaca and also to Cheyenne Central, but what are you looking at least kind of position-wise to play for the Indians?
I was looking to play wide out or wide receiver for Central. I'm not really focused on which team I'm going to play on or what position I want to be. It's just a goal to get stronger in the weight room.
As we always ask our young guys that come in here, favorite baseball team?
The Colorado Rockies.
Colorado Rockies. And
simple
again,
enough. And again, if you're saying if you're a third baseman, you like that position, and you're a Rockies fan, I mean, there's a talented third baseman down there.
An all-star.
An all-star, again. And he got paid a lot of money. Is that the guy possibly that you may look up to, get some skills or knowledge about playing third base possibly?
Of course, yeah. That's who I try to be like. That's who I want to be as a baseball player. It's my favorite player, Nolan Arenado.
So when you're watching Nolan, when you're watching him play, what are the characteristics that you see about him that makes you want to, play at his level?
I just see him as a guy who can do everything, and I just want to match that. He's just such a role model to me, and he can do whatever, and I just want to be like that.
Absolutely.
Now, again, you got plenty of time still to work out a few things, get into baseball, football, basketball throughout here in the city of Cheyenne. Again, as a sophomore getting into Cheyenne Central, but have you kind of thought of what you want to do kind of post-high school at this point in time? Again, you still got a lot of years, a lot of days to figure all that out, but have you kind of put a rough estimate, a rough sketch, so to speak, of maybe I want to continue baseball, football, basketball? Have you kind of set something like that up?
Yeah, of course. I'm looking to play college baseball. I don't really have a school set in mind, but I just want to play baseball as long as I can. So that's all I really want to focus on.
And I want to go back as well, too, as something that you mentioned before, at least what we're talking about with the junior leagues, being an umpire out there and dealing with that. Now, being a player and an umpire, we see, and I saw, at least in the game yesterday, that some parents had some questionable words for the ump, at least for at least guy behind home plate. But has that been kind of a learning experience for you of being a player, but also, too, being on that other side of the plate, calling balls and strikes, or at least helping out in some way? I mean, has that helped you develop as a player?
Oh, yeah, for sure. First of all, it's helped me as a player. I can see the strike zone a lot better now. But then relating to the umpires, like if they make a bad call, I can typically relate to that. Everybody can make mistakes, and I've been on that side of the spectrum with parents yelling at you. So, yeah, I'm getting used to that.
That's got to be a weird feeling of, hey, I'm just a teenager. Stop yelling at me at this point.
All right, well, we've been talking with Xander Jarosh. We want to wish you all the best and continued success. And again, good luck here with the tournament going on this weekend over at Powers Field again, 5:30 for the Mustangs being in action. And again, come on by and check out Xander and the crew out there this evening over at Powers Field. We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back. We got more of Wyoming Sports Talk today after these words.
Summer is just beginning, and it's a great time to plan all your home improvement and remodeling projects. This is Lexi.
And this is Aaron from Platte Valley Bank. A home equity line of credit can help finance summer projects, but can also fund summer fun like a boat, ATV, or even a convertible.
Stop in either Cheyenne location, and we'll show you the hidden value in your home with a home equity line of credit from Platte Valley Bank.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Credit subject to approval. Certain restrictions apply.
Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South.
May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast. Only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range. Right now at Riverbend Nursery and Stone Company, stop into the greenhouse for their summer blast sale. All annuals, geraniums, hanging baskets, herbs, patio pots, perennials, veggies, vines, and more are 15% off. Talk about a perfect time to fill up your garden. And all rose bushes are buy one and get 1.5 off of equal or lesser value. Don't miss the Summer Blast Greenhouse Sale, going on now until June 30th at family-owned and operated since 1977 Riverbend Nursery and Stone Company on North Yellowstone Road in Cheyenne. Open 7 days a week, all season long.
This is the time of year you will see motorcycles riding around town and on the highways. All motorists are reminded to safely share the road with motorcycles and bicyclists and to be on the alert to keep these riders from harm. These could be your neighbors, your friend, or someone's mother or father. Motorcycles and bikes are cautioned to make themselves visible to other motorists. When you come to a stop, always look left and right before proceeding. This will help prevent an avoidable accident and will keep everyone safe. To all drivers on Wyoming roads, be mindful and vigilant. Paid for by Federal Highway Safety Funds. First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Human history has shown anything is possible with inspiration and hard work. The 4-minute mile, a man on the moon, a water skiing squirrel, and now sirloin steak burritos from Taco John's.
Sirloin steak burritos are back at Taco John's. Stuffed with hand-carved sirloin steak and bold flavors like the melty, savory grilled cheese steak burrito, plus steak and shrimp or steak and potato olays. And for the morning, 2 steak and egg breakfast burritos. Sirloin steak burritos are back, but only for a limited time. Olay the day at Taco John's.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 89. Then for tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 54. On Saturday, it'll be partly cloudy with highs around 87. And on Saturday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 54.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Larry Proetti, along with Nick Proetti, as we are here on a Friday. Want to mention that the USA women's soccer team has moved on, advances to the semis as they defeat Team France today. Final score 2-1.
Just kind of continue their dominance as they should be doing out there, but again, no big surprise there of them getting the win.
All
today.
right. Well, it was a battle. So as you move up, it gets a lot tougher. All right. Breaking news, which was handed to us about an hour ago.
Yeah.
LCCC in the news, and Laramie County Community College announced today that Dr. Cindy Henning has been appointed for a 3-year period to serve as the college's interim executive director of athletics, recreation, and exercise science.
As I say, you can say at least words there, but either way, though.
Well, no, I'm reading it here because, again, executive director of athletics, recreation, and exercise science. So basically,
kind of
yeah.
Again, we're at least the reason why this is happening again. If you've been under a rock at this point in time with LCCC, again, former AD Clark Rasmussen has announced, or at least he's in his waning days, as earlier this month in June, announced that he was at least leaving LCCC.
Tomorrow's his last day officially.
Yeah, so at least again, LCCC will be without an AD, but that kind of prompted at least. higher-ups there at LCCC to make a decision, get this underway without having basically no one in the AD role there at LCCC to oversee the athletics, because, again, we still have a lot, off-season still matters at this point in time. Again, budgeting or whatever it may be, you still need someone to approve all this and get it all squared away, where head coaches don't need to worry about that. But, again, with Clark Rasmussen on his way out of LCCC after, again, only fulfilling about a year with LCCC, here we are again with now Dr. Cindy Hennig becoming an interim director of athletics, also to recreation and exercise science. So kind of clumping it all together for her under kind of a big umbrella term. But the interesting thing about this, again, interim, but for a 3-year period. Very interesting. So again, not an official hiring, but an interim for a 3-year term, essentially.
And in this role, she will serve as the college's athletic director, oversee the degree and certificate programs in exercise science. In sharing the news today, LCCC President Dr. Joe Schaefer offered his expectations and rationale for this. And again, nothing directed at Dr. Hennig at all, but it's a 3-year interim.
This is more of a question, and I certainly will reach out to Dr. Joe Schaefer again. We've talked with him before. Hopefully he'll be able to give us a good explanation, as much as he's given out a quote regarding this, at least, decision for LCCC, but definitely are big questions regarding the move here with LCCC.
And he offers these explanations. There are 3 primary things we want to focus on over the next 3 years in this area: creating immediate stability in LCCC athletics, doing a comprehensive analysis of our offerings in sports, campus recreation, and exercise science, and establishing short and long-range plans for the future. By doing these, we will position Golden Eagles athletics, campus recreation, and our programming for growth and success. As part of this interim agreement, Hennig will now report directly to Dr. Schaefer.
Yeah, he didn't say that, as you, again, don't say your quotes for whatever reason, at least to kind of keep that. But either way, though, again, usually you say quote in quotes to kind of at least make sure that folks are not confused of what people are saying. Not Schaefer's referring to himself in like the third person, but again, since you can't do that. But either way, though, regarding this, and again, quote by Joe Schaefer there, again, Dr. Joe Schaefer, about this at least situation right now with LCCC. The interesting thing is, trying to find creating immediate stability in LCCC athletics. It has been quite a bit of a turmoil, something that we've experienced as well, too, whether it was seeing, with Scott Noble moving on to Western New Mexico University, getting that position, trying to at least fulfill, or at least we had interim AD with Vince Gibson, head coach of men's soccer out there at LCCC. Then the hiring with Clark Rasmussen, dealing with that situation where, again, that lasted for, if not just barely a year for LCCC, and now here we are where, it does seem, at least in the AD role in athletics there at LCCC, this has been a whirlwind. There is clearly no stability right now, and you kind of feel bad, as much as we know these head coaches and assistants out there at LCCC along with the players. You kind of feel bad for the situation that they are dealing with right now, because they don't know where to go to. They don't know who to talk to. Again, it has been this back and forth of, all right, we need to get to know this person. Well, now they're gone. We need to get to know this person. Well, now they're gone. Now we need to get now we need to know this person. And in 3 years, they'll be gone. So
not necessarily.
Well, not necessarily. Again, it is interim, but at least so far it is a 3-year period to figure out until they decide of what direction they want to move there at LCCC. So
let's give some more background here. A graduate of Cheyenne East High School, Hennig's 20 years of athletic experience includes playing in Colorado and South Dakota. In 2010, she came to LCCC to serve as the program director for the exercise science program. Hennig also served in an interim capacity as LCCC's volleyball coach and dean of the School of Health Sciences and Wellness. Earlier this year, Hennig completed her doctoral degree in educational leadership from the University of Wyoming. So, again, familiar with the area, obviously. So, and she's been a part of LCCC for a while.
It has an athletic background, which is good. Again, has competed, again, as you mentioned, experienced it playing volleyball at the University of Northern Colorado, teaching and coaching at the K-12 and collegiate levels in Colorado and South Dakota. So can get on the level with these head coaches and assistants and players there at LCCC, so that is good to see. But at least you would hope that this is going to mesh well for those in the athletic department there at LCCC, but also, too, that she is going to at least have that vision like a Scott Noble or others that have gone through those hallways at LCCC to make sure that, athletics are kind of at the forefront, and that athletics are moving in a positive and good direction where, again, we have talented teams out there, and we got to make sure that we're getting them all that they can get them every resource to build up these programs, be competitive, and showcase here in the city of Cheyenne, if not here in Region 9 of NJCAA, that we have talented teams, talented programs right here in the Cap City.
Also, according to Schaefer, this is what he added, they say that sometimes the best things are right under our noses, and I feel this way about Dr. Henning. Cindy has all the knowledge, skills, and experience to do this work, but she has also demonstrated a deep love and commitment to LCCC and our community. Again, those are the words of Dr. Schaefer. So, again, we put a question mark by the decision, not that we are beating it down by any stretch of the imagination, but a 3-year interim athletic director deal?
Again, we're for
3 years
for Dr. Joe Schaefer talking about stability. I mean, this is, it is completely unstable right now at LCCC. And is this going to be a fix, or at least basically a plug to fix the hole right now that is leaking out of LCCC athletics? We can only hope so. Again, we wish the best for Dr. Cindy Hennig. Again, we will definitely talk with her throughout the season as we get to know her. We'll try to get her on the show as well, too, to introduce folks and get her thoughts on everything and what her vision is for LCCC athletics for her 3-year period here at LCCC. So we'll see what is going to happen with this. Again, hopefully this is a good direction, a positive direction for LCCC in the athletic programs where these head coaches, these assistants, these players, it is a umbrella of at least an umbrella environment where everyone's on the same page, everyone's working to an end goal to better those athletic programs.
Well, and again, it's all about the student athletes.
Absolutely.
That's about being the athletic director. Yes, budgets are important, and coaches are important, and I don't want to use the word.
Well, you got to make sure that these student athletes have the resources. So again, that's up to the athletic
student
director.
Athletes are there to be students and then athletes second. So, but also, in the situation with Dr. Henning, I know she's not in that building in the RAC, right?
I don't know.
I don't think she's currently in the RAC right now.
She might be, but again, we have not interacted with her.
I have yet to meet her. So, yeah. And in my 2 seasons of doing basketball there, so
well, again, we eventually will. And again, I will outreach to both parties at LCCC to get a full understanding, or at least more of a clarification on the decision behind this, and also to get at least her thoughts on becoming the interim director of athletics at LCCC, but also to see what is her vision for the next 3 years in this interim role for LCCC, to see exactly what she wants out of her athletic programs there.
All right. Again, Dr. Cindy Henning, again, has been named the interim director at LCCC. That announcement made today by Dr. Joe Schaefer at Laramie County Community College. We're going to take a timeout.
We don't have a timeout, so we're going to keep it here.
Why don't we have a timeout?
Because we've already gone through them all. And we were supposed to talk a little bit longer about that topic, but you kind of gave up there. But we could talk about it.
There's not much more to... You can't talk about something that you don't have a lot of knowledge
I'm just saying it is something right now. We have plenty of knowledge regarding what has happened post this hiring decision at LCCC, and it is something where hopefully this is not a snowball effect right now for this athletic department there. That this is not, it's not going to bite those teams in the rear end, so to speak, or it's hopefully this is not a ripple effect of what has happened in recent years where we've had the instability at the athletic, at least director position there. Again, whether it is one entity moving on to a bigger and better opportunity, which Scott Noble, respectfully, again, he has a right to do that, and he did. with Clark Rasmussen, where it felt like that decision was a little rushed.
And we're talking about a year and a half ago.
Again, it was a rushed decision. It felt like where it came down to a few, and again, a committee out there of our understanding that was selecting, or at least in the hiring, at least portion of at least
the
process. Yeah, so at least determining Clark Rasmussen, and again, that kind of blew up in their face right now. And this is hopefully a good, at least a solution. And I think that's all we are looking for, again, as we are kind of the home of LCCC athletics.
I don't think it's a solution. And again, and no disrespect to the announcement, but it's basically putting a finger in the dike, in the hole.
And that's what I said.
Either you name that party as the athletic director. Interim to me means, well, for now.
Again, it's something where
for now.
Hopefully we get Dr. Schaefer in to at least kind of break down this quote that he put in there in this statement of creating immediate stability in LCCC athletics. This is not creating immediate stability. This is just adding more turmoil to what is going on there. And we can talk to any coach out there, whether it is Brian Ortmeyer, Vince Gibson, Jim Gardner, Jason Ficca, whoever it may be, Kerry Coates, your new volleyball head coach, where you are now you're in another process to figure out who is running, who is taken care of, and who's going to get adjusted to understand of, all right, this program needs this program needs this, I need monies here, I need new equipment here, it's
a new philosophy in place. And again,
and it's fun. I would have doubted for those head coaches that this is frustrating.
You've had 4 philosophies in place in less than 2 years now. Yeah. Scott Noble, Vince Gibson, and again, Vince was named interim athletic director
for about a couple months, or
for a handful of months.
Yeah,
I do believe that Scott left right around the first part of the year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, January. Yeah.
So and then Clark came in and took over June of last year, or Mayish, and then you have him exiting, and now you bring in Dr. Cindy Henning. Now the question is, though, how do I say this right? You need to stamp your feet on the ground. And again, Dr. Henning is going to come in and she's going to have her vision, her philosophy of how she wants things run. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I would hope so.
Okay. But again, she's got the term of interim. And again, that is, I'm the athletic director for now. Well, I'm not under contract.
I hope, though, for Dr. Henning, again, if it is a 3-year period to serve as the interim executive director of athletics, that she takes it in a direction of still more so of a position, or at least a thought process of hey, this is my position, even though it's interim, or at least it doesn't have a term period, that she focuses not so much on the term length or the at least title that she is given right now at LCCC, and more so approaches it as if it was her actual job, if it was her actual title, if she was the AD of LCCC, not interim, not with a 3-year term limit or anything like this. Hopefully she does focus and doesn't focus on that and just bring stability. I think that's the key word right now, and bring stability to this athletic department at LCCC, where we have great athletes, we have great teams, we have top 25 programs in the nation competing, whether it's volleyball, women's soccer, up-and-coming women's basketball, men's basketball that is consistent year in and year out, minus what happened last year with the injuries. But, again, men's soccer as well, that can be a top 25 nationally ranked program as well. We have talented teams, talented students, talented head coaches and assistants out there. And again, in my opinion, it just feels very – I feel for those entities out there at LCCC where, again, we're trying to find stability. We're far from it.
No disrespect going out to any of the, Dr. Schaefer or Dr. Henning right now, but I'm going to give this not a thumbs up or thumbs down. I'm going to go neutral on this one because I think
only time will tell.
I think Dr. Schaefer in this one, he's trying to be non-committal.
Yeah,
and that's not a good position to take.
If you want created immediate stability, this is not the move you go.
Yeah, you don't be non-committal. It's like
if you want immediate stability, you hire someone. You go, we're committed with this guy, this gal, whoever it may be.
Whoever it is, and we'd like you to stick around. Give us on paper that you're going to be here at least 2 to 3 years. If you leave, blah blah blah.
Not saying that they're interim for a 3-year period. I think this was
I said,
I think to be at least critical about this was probably the wrong decision by, at least for Dr. Joe Schaefer and LCCC, to do something like this. Again, I'm not saying that I'm expecting Cindy Henning to fail at this position. No, I don't want that. I don't want anything like that. I hope that she's the best thing for LCCC, but I think what they should have done is said, Dr. Cindy Henning, you are our official AD.
And sign this deal.
And don't even put a term limit. Just say you are the AD. You are stamped and sealed.
You are, here's your annual contract. Good for you. That type of deal. Yeah, the non.
That would have been better than this.
See, and this to me kind of throws us back almost to the Gardner situation.
Yeah.
Where he's gone, then he's back. Okay. And again, that should have never developed in the first place. This shouldn't have developed either. This should not be non-committal. You're either in or you're out.
Yeah.
Or you are on a fact-finding tour of the U.S. to find a stable athletic director for LCCC. Again, now you just kind of throw everything up in the air, and it's like, well,
she may be here. She may not.
She's running the department, but
it's for this time length, and then we'll figure out.
Yeah, then
if at all,
then we'll review it.
Yeah.
So anyway,
those great wonders for those coaches out there.
I don't know how much of the coaches and what have you.
Yeah, and I don't want to speak for them, but again, in my personal, if I was in those positions out there, I'm not too happy about this. Again, the key word is stability. LCCC right now in that position with that athletic department is far from it right now, and it's a shame. It's a complete shame right now of what is going on right now. It's basically hard to put at least a specific word on it regarding what is happening right now, where that's all we want. Us being in the media, or at least, again, being the home of LCCC athletics with men's and women's basketball, with those head coaches, with those assistants, with those players, all you want is a clear-cut answer. Someone to go to where, hey, you're going to take care of this issue, take care of these things that we need done so we can do our job the best that we can. And I feel like LCCC just, at least with this decision, just said, we'll figure it out. Have fun.
Well,
deal with it.
And that's not the right answer.
Yeah, it is. It really isn't.
And I actually kind of feel for Dr. Henning now, if you think about it, because
she's kind
of put in the middle.
Yeah.
It's like
an unnecessary. Yeah, she's an unnecessary kind of middleman in this whole thing.
And I'm sure she doesn't want us to speak for her, so we won't do that.
No.
But I mean, it's like either you're in or you're not. You can't be halfway through the door.
Yeah.
And again too.
And again, I hope with Dr. Henning, she doesn't have those thoughts. I would hope not.
No, but again, I would venture to say that she has the mantle of control. But I look back at the last time we had an interim athletic director, Vince Gibson. Vince basically just kept the programs afloat.
Just kind of signed things here. And
it wasn't even a matter of signing things. It's just a matter of, hey, we're going to make sure that everything is good. Scoreboards work. We got people to assist. Monies are being distributed here. And when the new athletic director comes in, I hand it all over to him. Well, this here, to me, is not so much the same thing, is that she is the interim athletic director. So is
she going to answer to someone else?
Yeah, well, yes, she is. She's answering directly to Dr. Schaefer.
Well, I get that, but it feels like could someone else be kind of, not so much meddling, but maybe kind of have a say-so where, hey, you were just an interim AD. Well, as much as you want to take things in this direction, I'm going to take it in this direction, or I'm going to force you to do this because, again, you're not the official.
Does she have official? The question is, does she have full control of the athletic department?
And hopefully next week, and I will reach out to both Dr. Schaefer and also to Dr. Henning about this situation. Get both of their thoughts, introduce at least to the city of Cheyenne, to Dr. Henning as well, too, to get an understanding of what her direction is going to be for this athletic department there.
All right. We have reached the 4 o'clock hour. Do need to take a timeout?
Nope.
We do have another.
We don't have another timeout, but we can go straight to the top of the hour.
We're going to go to the top of the hour ID. That, to me, is a timeout, and then we go into our intro. So I get a chance to catch my breath. And then we do have another special guest coming up. We had her on here prior to the series between the Warriors as well as the Toronto Raptors, but also, too, she was our ESPN analyst for hockey, which was St. Louis.
How about we were talking about, we were talking about Stanley Cup Finals with her, but we
got onto the basketball thing. Anyway, Victoria Matiash is going to join us here. She's an NHL writer for ESPN.
Try that last name again. Matiash?
Matiash.
There you go.
I said Matiash. And, well, again, I can't get any water right now thanks to you, knucklehead. All right, we're going to take a timeout. We'll be right back.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk Today being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne. Check out the cool green Taco John's food truck for our South Side friends. And again, you'll catch that food truck usually in the Outlaw Saloon parking lot. Taco John's, also locations here in Cheyenne where you can enjoy their delicious sirloin steak burrito for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Taco John's of Cheyenne. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service over on Highway 30, exclusive home for Jayco RVs, fifth wheels, and travel trailers. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range across from Powers Field and Menards. 2 convenient drive-thrus, and of course they're there Monday through Saturday. Couple of goodies for you right now on the menu. I have them here in my hands. The coupons for a strawberry passion tea lemonade. That is what's new on the menu for a limited time. And also their Smokehouse BBQ bacon sandwich. That looks absolutely delicious, and it will be, especially when you get it from Ray and Cindy's place, Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range. We want to thank Kia of Cheyenne over in Nation Way. Great weekend to go sample the Kia family of 2019s. Anywhere from Soul all the way up to the Stinger. Maybe you want to go the SUV route. Check out that Telluride. Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Platte Valley Bank times 2. Banking done the old-fashioned way, customer service-wise, done the high-technology way, which Nick always does. And they have 2 locations for you to try it. You can go to the east side location at the corner of College and Pershing, and, of course, the regional location on Vandehei. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs, open Monday through Saturday. Catch Gene and the staff over on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Lennox Auto Body times 2. We're talking the Auto and Truck Repair Center over on Dunn Avenue, where they accept all insurances. And, of course, they do the auto glass and detail thing. It's not clean until it's Lennox clean over on Pershing Boulevard. First True Bank, 1508 Stone Avenue, open Monday through Friday. Again, check out their special CD rate right now on a 27-month CD with a 3.1 annual percentage yield. Mondello's Pizzeria directly across the street, that is, at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Paisan cuisine served up 7 days a week, all fresh, all delicious. We're talking from the dough to all the ingredients. The bread is always baked fresh, too, over at Mondello's Pizzeria. You got to have one of their delicious sandwiches. Trust me. Salami and provolone. That one is the pro man favorite at Mondello's over on Stillwater Avenue, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. And we get things underway with our scoreboard. It's being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. We go first to Nick.
Recapping from last night, baseball and softball, whether it was in town or down in Denver, Colorado. We'll start on the softball side with the Cheyenne Extreme, who were in town taking on the Colorado Rockettes in a doubleheader over at Converse Park. Game number 1 against the Rockettes, where it was a 12-5 victory for the Cheyenne Extreme. Game number 2, how about a 11-5 victory for the Extreme over the Colorado Rockettes? So with the doubleheader sweep, Cheyenne Extreme moved to 35-9-2 overall. Post 6 Sixers, they were in action last night in Denver, Colorado as they took on USA Prime. Unfortunately, lost that contest 9-4. Post 6 also, too, had earlier morning contests today, 2 of them. In fact, game 1 against the Utah Goals, where they won that contest not at least 10-1. And game number 2 of this afternoon, they took on the Lightning Blue down there in Denver, where they won that contest 9-3. So 2-1 after these past 2 days. With that, Cheyenne Post 6 sits at 33-14 overall. And Cheyenne Mustangs, they were in action last night as well at Powers Field as they took on University High School, where they won 8-1. They will have a game coming up tonight at 5:30 over at Powers Field against Liberty Common. So at least go and cheer and support the Cheyenne Mustangs as they are over at Powers Field tonight. But with last night's win, Cheyenne Mustangs are 14-15 overall.
Major League Baseball, the schedule goes like this. Indians at the Orioles in the 5 o'clock hour. Royals at Blue Jays. Braves, Mets at Citi Field. Rangers, Rays in the Trop. It will be the Nats and the Tigers at Comerica. Cubs will visit the Reds at Great American Ballpark. Phil's Marlins at Marlins Park. 6 o'clock hour have the Pirates of the Brewers at Miller Park, Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago, with the White Sox hosting the Twins at Minute Maid Park, the Astros, and the Mariners. 6:40. Rocks, Dodgers at Coors Field. 96 degrees currently in Denver right now. Antonio Sensatella will get the call for Colorado. 8 o'clock hour will have the Swingin' A's and the Angels at Angel Stadium, Anaheim. Cardinals, Padres at Petco. And the late contest at 8:15, the Giants hosting the Diamondbacks at Oracle Park. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Yo, this is your cup holder talking. You know me, the little round thing between your car seats. Now, listen, we need...
It'll be sunny with highs around 89. Then for tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 54. On Saturday, it'll be partly cloudy with highs around 87. And on Saturday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 54.
Here, the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Back on Wyoming Sports Talk today, Larry Proetti along with Sonny Boy Nick Proetti, and we bring on our very special guest, Victoria Matiash, NHL writer for ESPN.com. Last time we talked with Victoria, she was in Toronto. You still there in Toronto, Ontario?
This is where I live, so yes, I am.
So obviously, before we get
yeah.
into the hockey talk,
yeah,
obviously tell us and we all three of us were wrong, right?
All three of us were wrong. Me probably most happily so, but I think we should all, offer a collective congratulations to the Toronto Raptors for winning their first NBA title, and in unexpected fashion. I thought if they were going to pull it off, I thought it would be down to 7 games, but a little tighter than that. It's been a lot of fun. I have to tell you, it's been a long time since the city's experienced something like that, and the city's been in a good mood ever since, and if he resigns in Toronto, it's going to be a party all summer.
I was going to say the last time that they were able to party like it was 1999 was when the Blue Jays won last with Joe Carter's bat. That was about the last time they had a chance to celebrate.
That's right, 92 and 93, and I am old enough to have appreciated that at the time. We won't get into specifics.
That's right. I'm a senior, so don't worry about it. Hey, Victoria, it's wonderful to have you back on our program, and we're going to talk hockey right now. Obviously,
and we had a big situation happen, at least regarding team down 100 miles in Denver, Colorado, with a big trade that happened, big acquisition by the Colorado Avalanche from the salary cap, at least challenged Washington Capitals team, where they picked up and added quite of a big name to that Avalanche squad.
I love this move, and you're talking about Andre Burakovsky, obviously, right?
Absolutely.
And I love this move so much, and I like it for both sides. I really like this player, but he has never amounted to what he was supposed to be in Washington. They loved him there. I mean, he was a first-round draft pick back in 2013. He had a lot of promise. They were really excited about him. He is super skilled, but he's never been able to perform consistently in Washington. And, I mean, he's only 24 years old, but he has played five seasons in the NHL, and you'd see glimpses of it especially when he got a top 6 opportunity over there, and he'd have a great game, and you'd see what everybody was all excited about, and then he just could not play consistently to that level. So, I mean, this is one of those when a change in scenery is probably, it might be exactly what is needed. It might be the solution for him. And again, new scene, new players, new teammates. It wasn't working out in Washington, and he's a good kid. There's nothing wrong with him. He doesn't have any issues behavior-wise or anything like that. It just hasn't worked out. So seeing him here with this young team that's all up and coming together in Colorado, and you see him maybe in a top 6 role, maybe with Tyson Jost, something like that. And maybe he's going to finally become what everybody in Washington had hoped he would. So I'm very excited, and it's a great deal for Washington too, because it wasn't working out there. They get a couple of picks for next year, and I think it all works out.
And it kind of eases on their salary cap a bit, where they're having issues with dealing that, taking care of some of those pieces out there in Washington. But again, Avalanche picking up this big prospect, or at least a guy who hopefully can translate very well for this young Avalanche team that is up and coming in the Western Conference. But I'll ask you, Victoria, about this. July 1st, free agency begins in the NHL. I mean, is this the beginning, so to speak, for the Colorado Avalanche of this team being very aggressive this offseason and picking up more and more pieces to add to this Avalanche team?
I'm not sure what they're going to do. And I've contributed to ESPN.com for the NHL in some capacity for 13 years now. And if I've learned something in over a dozen years of doing this, that trying to predict moves this time of year is a fool's game. I mean, some things are obvious, other than I'm not talking about re-signings, but generally, everybody's talking right now, Matt Zuccarello, who's going to sign with Buffalo. And then watch, he'll sign maybe with the Avalanche. It's very difficult to predict what's going on behind the scenes, especially now that they have this window that agents can talk to that we never used to have before. Everything happened on the 1st, and now you have a few days to actually discuss ahead of time. I don't know what the Avs are going to do. I know their number one priority is they have to re-sign Mikko Rantanen. That's obviously, he's a restricted free agent. They have to wrap that up. They have other restricted free agents that they have to take care of. They need goaltending help. I don't know where they're going to get that from. I don't know if it's going to be on the free agent market or it's going to be via trade, but it's going to be very interesting. I think they really made a big splash at the draft with the 2 first-round picks. I think today's trade for Burakovsky I think it's a great move, guys. I think Avalanche fans are going to be really pleased with that. And what happens starting on Monday? It's a terrible radio answer, but I'm really not sure.
Let's take a look at the National Hockey League in general. First off, St. Louis is the Stanley Cup champions. It was only a one-year run for the Washington Capitals. So I guess what I'm going to ask you, Victoria, not like the National Football League where Paul Tagliabue wanted parity, but you look in the playoffs and it was like anybody could have grabbed the cup.
Absolutely. I mean, as soon as Tampa Bay was swept in the first round and losing 4 straight, you knew all bets were off, right? I mean, anything could have happened after that. Even though the Boston Bruins, they were slightly more favored in the East compared to other teams, maybe up there with the Capitals and Tampa, maybe Toronto. But other than that, the West was wide open. And, I mean, there's good and bad to that. The lack of consistency and dynasties and all that, I think that hurts the sport a little bit. But at the same time, you can be a fan of a team. January 1st, they could be the worst team in the league, and you have a shot at winning the Stanley Cup because that is exactly what happened last year. So it doesn't matter how down and out you are. If you make the playoffs, if you grab the 8th seed in either conference, you have a chance. And that's going to keep people's interest longer. And it makes it a lot more fun, too.
How much do we read into Vegas odds? As we, at least us in the radio side, or at least kind of in the entertainment side, look at odds and play around with the various leagues. But I mean, for the NHLs, we talk about parity, and where we saw in this playoffs where, hey, here, we got a talented Tampa Bay team that exits out very early to a talented Columbus team. On the other side of the Western Conference, with Calgary going in as the number 1 overall team, getting upset by the Colorado Avalanche. I mean, looking at right now current odds for at least the NHL for at least Stanley Cup champions in 2020, right at top at 6-1 odds is Tampa Bay Lightning. Right behind them, and kind of surprised for me as much as I am a fan of this team, the Vegas Golden Knights at 7-1, and then kind of looking at rounding out the top 5 at 10-1 odds, Boston Bruins, the Colorado Avalanche, and the Toronto Maple Leafs. I mean, talking about that again, the top 5 right there of future odds for Vegas. I mean, is it something that you can really read into, or is it that much of a parity in the NHL where, you know, there's not much validity in this?
Yeah, no, I'm not reading too much into it at all. It's not at this stage. There's too much that has to happen over the summertime. I mean, I don't want to start talking odds at all. First of all, I'm not a gambler, but it's always interesting to see how it all pans out, right? But November, you start to get a sense of who may do this and who may do what. And if anything, if we all learned, we were just talking about this, guys. If we learned anything last year, it is you actually can't predict it. I would have the Lightning as the favorite, especially after what happened, because they're going to come back more determined and angrier than they ever have been before. And by the way, they're probably the most talented team still, assuming they don't lose Braden Point in the next few days. But I would still give them the best odds. But again, what did we just watch? So is it a 1 in 31 chance? Not really, but I'd say maybe a 1 in 10 that you can bang on, and you can pick off who's going to succeed. But then again, this is also speaking to how promising the Avs team. You said they were the 5th favorite, top 5 in favorite.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay, I mean, like with such a young squad, but the money guys in Vegas are looking at this team and go, there's something here, and I think there definitely is. I wouldn't pick them to win next year. That D-core is going to be way too young. But 2 or 3 years down the line, absolutely. So long as they keep their top line intact and they build around it, they all grow and they all develop more experience and all the rest of it, I think Colorado is going to be a team definitely to be dealt with in the next 2 to 3 years.
As you talk about the weak spots for the Colorado Avalanche, and we'll stick on that theme, again, looking at that defense, and again, it is still a young, very young team that is developing under head coach Jared Bednar, but again, it's a team that has a lot of promise, and a team that is surprising year in and year out, especially down the road in Denver, Colorado. But if the Avs, as we get close to free agency again, starts on Monday, July 1st, and they are able to make those moves, add maybe a few veteran defensive players, or add this or that to this team, at least 2-part question. What do the Avs need to be a contender for the Stanley Cup? And also, right now for the Colorado Avalanche, I mean, what are their main needs, so to speak, for the Avalanche?
Okay, you need a goaltender, because Philip Grubauer can't play every single day, all right? So you definitely need some sort of backup. Even if you're putting all of your faith in Philip Grubauer, you still need somebody else. You need another breathing human being who's going to win you games, all right? Up front, I don't think you need very much. Maybe a little bit of experience on the 3rd and 4th line, and that's cheap. Those guys come cheap, so that's good. The good part about that. Now, the most promise that you have right now, especially after the draft and with a couple of prospects that are coming up expected to play on the blue line, the Avs have one of the most talented and promising young blue lines in the league. They may have the most promising blue line in the league because, I mean, you still have Tyson Barrie there, and he's one of the better ones around. Now you've got Cale Makar coming up after a couple of years. He's expected to make his debut. They're already talking Calder for this kid. I mean, it's incredible what they're expecting from him. You drafted Bowen Byram, 4th overall, just recently in this draft, and everyone was saying, oh, he needs a year or two of seasoning, and they're saying maybe not. So you might see him next year. You got the Timmins kid. Okay, so there's your 4 top guys, all skilled, all super talented. The only one who has any real experience is Tyson Barrie. So what you need to do is you have to bring in a couple of older guys to play a few minutes in your third pairing. Again, those guys come cheap. Basically, what I'm saying is that the Avs are in great. They are in super position. They don't have to make any major moves. Maybe they do. Maybe they bring in a big top name up front, and that's going to strengthen them further. But already, as a young and growing team, they have got the talent on the back end. They've got the talent in the top 6. And I think it's just the odd small piece. And they do have all that cap space. I mean, we'll see what happens with the restricted free agents. But, I mean, they're sitting pretty right now. If I was a GM in the NHL, that's a team I would not mind running right now at all.
We're talking with Victoria Matiash, who is the NHL writer for ESPN.com. Victoria, let me ask you this question here about the NHL in general. And pretty much I appreciate that factoid from you on the Colorado Avalanche. We were discussing the other day the NBA where David Silver says, hey, we don't want to refer to our team's owners, because that, hints at slavery. And we're starting to see that Silver's kind of losing a little bit of, I don't know, a little bit of ground as the commissioner of the NBA. And we already know that in the National Football League, Goodell is not well liked, and Manfred is okay but not great. But we're seeing right now that, correct me if I'm wrong, the state of the affairs for the National Hockey League, that Gary Bettman has the NHL on the right path?
That's a very large question, and I'm going to give you a very simple answer to start, and I'll say yes in general. I still don't think, first of all, fans in the league cannot stand Gary Bettman, but that's almost just become habit. He's been the commissioner for 150 years, and they never liked him from the start. A couple of walkouts will do that to you, right? So we're in the habit of disliking. It's almost a hobby. You dislike the guy. But then when you actually look at the league closely and you realize all of the things that the league has accomplished in the last 10, 15 years, particularly barring the lockout, of course, but the growth of the game and what's happened, this and that, it certainly is on the right path. It certainly is moving in the right direction. I think there's a lot of things to solve. They didn't have a great revenue year last year. That's one of the reasons not the expected revenue they expected. That's why the cap is at 81.5 instead of, say, 83. So some teams are sort of dealing with that headache as well. There's revenue issues, there's safety issues, there's still issues with head injuries. That's not going away, nor should it. There's some other social issues I'm not going to get into because that's a much larger conversation. But in general, warts and all, yes, I think the NHL is on the right path. I like the way the game is evolving into more speed and skill and less of the physical. I'm not talking about hard checks, guys. I'm just talking about unnecessary stage fights, which I just find nonsensical. So it's a faster game, and you have to have a game that parents watching with their children will say, yeah, you know what, Joe or Joanna, yes, I'd like to put you in this sport. It looks like a lot of fun. And if you're watching these guys knock each other's heads off, the game isn't going to grow because parents are not. I talk to parents all the time about this, and they're very reluctant to put their children in because they are worried about head injuries, and rightfully so. So, we have to remove that for the game, or else the game will not grow because people aren't going to watch a sport that nobody plays. We all know that.
Yeah, we're seeing that.
In general, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, we are definitely seeing that parallel with football as well, too, where we see parents, taking them out due to, at least with the helmet situation, again, head injuries as well.
Let me go to the replay situation. Again, controversy throughout the course of the playoffs with replay? Do we see added replay? Do we start allowing the officials to be human again? What are we looking ahead towards for the 2019-2020 season?
They're talking about it at the latest GM's meeting. They were talking about it, and it doesn't sound like anything definitive is coming out of that. I mean, there are the two schools of thought. Do you just bring in more of the computers, more of the robots, and, bring it down to an exact science, or do you maybe pull back a little bit and let the refs do a little bit more? I don't think you're ever going to go back in time. Guys, I think once you let this genie out of the bottle and that we now have the technology to see, did this cross this? Was this higher than the stick? Did he cross the line? What basically the issue is, they don't want teams to score goals and then say, 5 minutes ago, number 23 was offside, because it kills the flow of the game. It's so anticlimactic. As a fan, you become fearful of celebrating a big goal, because then you have to sit there. Is it going to count? Is it going to count? Is it going to count? Right? And you can't watch sports like that. So I think that it still deserves a lot of fine-tuning, but they are not going back in time and taking away and removing the technology, because you can't now. You know what it's capable of. And then in future games, they would say, if we were using the cameras for this and using the cameras for that, they would have gotten it right. And so anyways, you have to move forward, but you have to fine-tune it. We're seeing it in soccer as well. First of all, congratulations to the American women's soccer team for winning their quarterfinal match today against France. That was a cracking match. I really enjoyed it. And they've had the issue in that tournament as well with VAR, with the video review there as well. There's been issues. So, I mean, we have to, all sports across the board, have to figure out it's a constant project. It's a constant evolution of fine-tuning how to use the technology properly, that you're not killing the sport, but you also make the right call.
Absolutely. Again, throughout any league across, whether it's MLB, NHL, NFL, again, you got to realize these systems are not perfect, and hey, they're only working to try and better it, so on and so forth, at least year in and year out. But Victoria, as we're going to probably let you go here very shortly, but again, appreciate you joining us today on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Final question from me as we talk about the NHL in general. Just two pieces, or at least two little entities I want to focus on. One being out in Florida with the Florida Panthers, finding their new head coach a big pickup, and a possibility of maybe future Stanley Cups down there in Florida, but they get the at least legendary Joe Quenneville, entity that Colorado Avalanche fans know out here very well, but also too in the rotation and the question mark, as much as this franchise seems like it's in disarray at this point in time, with the Anaheim Ducks, where we get rid of Randy Carlisle, we have to bring in at least a GM to do the head coaching position. Now we are selecting at least the Anaheim Ducks, moving up from the San Diego Gulls, one Dallas Eakins. Just give your thoughts on, at least so far, with those two head coaching at least moves, and any others throughout that we've seen so far in the NHL.
Well, I mean, the Joe Quenneville hire, I think everybody appreciates that. He's a proven coach. He knows how to win cups. Florida has underachieved for years now. They have the talent, and they just haven't been able to take that last step for whatever reason. And so I think Joe Quenneville being in Florida is going to be a great thing. I predict already. I'll tell you right now. I think the Panthers make the playoffs next year, no matter what. And on Monday, guys, if they happen to sign both Artemi Panarin and Sergei Bobrovsky, okay, that's going to be massive, because now you have an elite goaltender, because Roberto Luongo retired, of course, and he's been past his prime for a little while anyway. So you have Bobrovsky in net. You have Artemi Panarin, who's a game changer up front. Joe Quenneville behind the bench, plus Barkov and all the other talent they have around them. They are going to be in great shape, and that could very, very, very well happen. Dallas Eakins in Anaheim. I know he's enjoyed some success with the Gulls. He has very limited experience in the NHL. He was just for a cup of coffee and a half with Edmonton. He didn't even get 2 full seasons out of it, and he did not fare well. I don't think that came down on him, but he didn't get the chance to really, he didn't get the time and the opportunity to really make something of it. So I'm not sure. I know that they're intimate with him and what he's accomplished at the AHL level, and that's great. And we'll see in the minor level, I should say, and we'll see. We'll see. The Anaheim Ducks, they are starting over a little bit, and I think that's fine, and they have a lot of young talent coming up. But again, if I'm excited about the Avs in a couple years from now, I think we're talking 3-4 years before Anaheim starts to really, really grab our attention. But they've got a lot of young talent, so that's a team worth watching as well.
All right, Victoria, and finally I'm going to take you off the ice, put you on the hardwood. in Toronto. Does Kawhi come back as a Raptor?
Okay, all right. Yes, I'm going to say yes, but I'm also going to say this is an amazing conversation we're having, gentlemen, because back last summer or even early in the fall, there was no chance of this happening. He was going to play his year out in Toronto, and he was then going to join the Clippers and move on with his life. The fact that this is even a conversation, I love. And the fact that he is talking to Toronto last, he's talking to them next week, so he's having his conversations with other teams. Toronto has the last word. He's enjoyed all the success this year. It seems that he had a good time here. I think we get a year or two out of him. He's still going to go back to LA to finish out his career. I mean, he's still a young guy. So he has many years left. I think he's going to try for the repeat, maybe the three-peat if it all works out that way. So I'm hoping for a couple of years because I don't want to have this conversation again at this time next year. But it's even a year, I know that the Raptors fans here will be very, very grateful. So I am going to say yes. I'm going to say yes.
All righty, Victoria. Thank you so much for joining us. Wonderful conversation. And we'll catch up with you again down the road.
Absolutely. I enjoyed talking to you guys.
All righty. Victoria Matiash, NHL writer for ESPN.com, joining us here on a Friday afternoon with Wyoming Sports Talk today, talking some National Hockey League and a little bit of hoops and this, that, and the other thing. We will take a timeout. We'll be back with more after these words here on 1480 KRAE. First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Human history has shown anything is possible with inspiration and hard work. The 4-minute mile, a man on the moon, a water skiing squirrel, and now sirloin steak burritos from Taco John's.
Sirloin steak burritos are back at Taco John's. Stuffed with hand-carved sirloin steak and bold flavors like the melty, savory grilled cheese steak burrito, plus steak and shrimp or steak and potato olays. And for the morning, 2 steak and egg breakfast burritos. Sirloin steak burritos are back, but only for a limited time. Olay the day at Taco John's.
Right now, it's time to head over to Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service for low prices on outstanding RVs in Wyoming. Your local, exclusive Jayco dealer wants you to check out their closeout deals, as well as their 2019 inventory of trailers, fifth wheels, and toy haulers. You can save up to 30% on select models with approved credit. You can find them at 6102 East Highway 30. Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service is a proud sponsor of LCCC men's and women's basketball, also our local high school teams too.
Hop into the KRAE Time Machine each Monday through Thursday for the golden age of radio, featuring famous radio classics such as Jack Armstrong and Suspense Theater, along with pioneers in the entertainment industry like Bob Hope and Abbott and Costello, along with many other performers who've captured our ears many, many years ago. Join us for the golden age of radio Monday through Thursday, 8 until 10 p.m. on 1480 KRAE, also 101.1 FM, and you can also stream all of our programming on 1480krae.com.
10 years ago, the Department of Defense selected High West Energy to provide electricity on F.E. Warren Air Force Base. For a decade, we have been proud to work hand in hand with the Air Force leadership to ensure we provide the base with the affordable, reliable power it needs to be an economic driver for the region and serve a vital national security interest for this country. High West Energy, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you.
Capital Lumber is number one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need. For electrical, plumbing, paint, and tools, lumber and hardware, we're for you. And we're out to earn your business, yes indeed. Capital Lumber is number one today. Are you listening? Capital Lumber's at your service all the way.
Capital Lumber Company, serving our area for over 53 years at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Well, we got stuff to get into here, but we may run out of time real quick. We'll go keep it on the hardwood, where again, Victoria mentioned that she believes that Kawhi will be a Toronto Raptor.
Because it was a believe and a hope.
Well, yeah, but she knows that he's meeting with the Raptors last.
Yeah.
And the Lakers
even
are
though
making a push for him as well as the Clippers.
Yeah, I was going to say the Lakers right now are looking to be the favorable landing spot for Kawhi. It is
they traded three guys to the Wiz today.
In the national media so far, it is saying that they're almost putting it out there that it's a guarantee that he's going to be a Laker next year. That Kawhi is not entertaining Clippers. He's not going back to Toronto. That he is going to be a Laker. So we'll see if that kind of flourishes. That would be a very scary three out there with Kawhi, AD, and LeBron James. That is where you could have a serious argument that the dynasty that is the Golden State Warriors, especially taking on this team, a division opponent there in the Pacific, if you have those three entities, that is a scary outfit, and that is going to be a tough one to defeat. But, Kawhi has mentioned where, we go back to that trade, or at least between San Antonio and Toronto, sending him up there. He was not happy about it. No. He was not happy being part of that franchise. But you wonder, again, winning the title, getting the finals MVP, if he's at ease a bit, if he's kind of over this whole thing about Toronto, this stigma, and maybe over of, hey, who cares about Los Angeles right now? They're in a bit of disarray. Sure, they got Anthony Davis at this point in time, but that team is so far from competing with Golden State out there, if not even upending the LA Clippers, if at all as well, too, getting over Sacramento at this point in time. Right now, you wonder Kawhi, though, is with this time, again, being a part of this franchise, being around this team, the fans, seeing that city, winning the championship, and still keeping that solid core out there in Toronto, if he does have second thoughts of, I don't need to go to Los Angeles. I'm happy here in Toronto.
And I think, first off, as well as I do, Toronto's going to give him max money.
Oh, yeah, they're going to do everything they can. Again, Toronto, not even the team, I think the city encompassing so far is offered ridiculous things, whether it is, hey, eat at this restaurant for free, these little funny little caveats that come with it. But, again, Toronto as a whole, not even the franchise, but the city is trying everything they can to say, hey, Kawhi, stay.
And see, now the Lakers today, again, they traded 3 players to the Wizards.
Yeah. To
open up max space. Well, their maximum salary cap space is $32 million.
Yeah.
Well, this is why I agree with Victoria. He's speaking to the Raptors last. So he's going to come back and say, here's what the Clippers said. Here's what the Lakers said. Here's what Joe Blow said. Boom. The Toronto's will say, yeah, we'll match that and we'll give you $1 more. We want you to stay here for a couple of years. Here's the max.
But what is more enticing? What is on the mind of Kawhi Leonard? Where
the team is all going to be intact. That's what's.
I get that, but I'm just saying, does he want to take almost kind of the easy route, so to speak, head down to the Lakers, be a part of that big three, so to speak? Again, with the Los Angeles, with the Lakers, where you almost have to dare and say, go at least with the Los Angeles Lakers. It's almost a guarantee that team could be finals bound for quite some time, maybe even at least starting next season with Golden State being down and out a bit, again, without having, at least with Clay, Kevin Durant, without this team, if they are still pieces apart, if they are signed with the Golden State Warriors, it does seem like it would be the easier route for Kawhi to just go there, be a part of this superpower team, as we haven't seen in quite some time.
Right.
I guess Golden State is currently that superpower team with at least the faces that they do have. But thinking back more to the Miami Heat days of the big three down there, this is kind of the big three now in the Western Conference if he is to join the Los Angeles Lakers.
And it remains to be seen, but I tend to agree with Victoria. I don't think we're going to see movement there. I don't think we're going to see movement up the coast in Oakland or San Francisco.
Yeah.
Looks like.
Because, again, both players, at least with Kevin Durant and Clay, we've talked about it ad nauseum, but Warriors reiterated, I do believe,
max contract.
Yeah, last night, again, they're going to supermax for Kevin Durant, which, again, is going to be more money and one term, at least 1 year longer than any other team can offer to Kevin Durant. For Klay Thompson, he can't get a supermax due to missing out on the all-team, again, just missing the third all-team. But they'll offer him max contract, or at least max of what they can.
The thing is, too, and all the rumors that are being, again, social media, sometimes you want to smack whoever's in charge of this. But, there's problems.
Social media?
Well, I'm just saying that, there's problems with Oakland. Kevin Durant knew the Warriors rushed him back. And, we all know that. We're not stupid.
Yeah.
Okay? But the Warriors are saying, hey, Kevin, we're sorry. We're going to make it up to you. Here's what we've got for you.
Yeah.
You are this is why we wanted you back on the floor. You're an important cog to this team. Same with Klay Thompson. Hey, we want you to get better. And again, the Warriors realize they're going to lose a year. $40 million they're going to lose in Kevin Durant money.
But they're willing to eat that money.
Yeah. And they're going to
can afford to eat that money.
And they're going to lose about, $15 million in Klay Thompson money?
Yeah.
Because he's not going to be able to play until half the season.
And same with luxury tax. So Golden State's pretty much just giving away money next season if they are to get those two pieces.
And if I'm not mistaken, when I was reading earlier that maybe Sean Livingston is retiring, that the Warriors are going to give him a buyout.
That's what I told you. I anticipated that Sean Livingston was going to call it a career, but we'll see if that happens. I think the other piece as well, where, again, the guy's on the book tour right now, but is Andre Iguodala going to call it a career sometime, if not this season? There's a good possibility. I don't see it, but it is something that you can't really bypass or at least give a passing glance to it. It is, I think, getting close to a reality for Andre Iguodala where he's done pretty much in his career enough. What more is there for him to do? Again, as he's now getting more oft injured, is it time to kind of call it quits, him and Sean? It's a good possibility, and we'll see.
Yeah, so again, it's going to be an interesting summer.
It already is.
Yeah, and again, going back to both Klay and Durant, they're each going to get 5-year deals.
Yeah.
And that's what they want. Again, understand this with basketball players. They want stability. And in addition to winning, don't get me wrong, but realistically, Klay's got 3 rings.
I mean, Durant's stability when you had one of your big, at least trades where he had the contract with New Orleans and just said, no, I don't want to even be here.
But these guys, again, Thompson has made no bones about it. I want to be a Warrior. So the Warriors are saying, we want you to be a Warrior. Here's 5 years. Durant, who has not said nothing.
I think it's fair.
And the media has been doing all the talking for Durant. When he left OKC, he wanted to go to a place where he knew he could win and win right away.
Yeah.
And he went to the Warriors. And he realizes that he can still win with the Warriors, and the Warriors are rewarding him by staying with them.
Yeah.
And that's called commitment.
And again, usually that 5th year usually pays out a little bit more than the others where, again, he can make quite a bit of money. So with Kevin Durant, again, with any other max contract, if he goes to Brooklyn, if he goes to the Nets, if he goes to Clippers, whoever it may be, if at all, they can only offer him the 4-year less money. At least I think it's about $12 million less per year than what the Warriors can. But again, the Warriors, what they offer is, again, that $12 million more per year, plus also to that extra year length. So again, 5 instead of 4, where for other teams it is 4. That's going to be 3 actually in reality. For the Warriors, instead it's going to be 5 with 4 to play.
And again, the Warriors offer commitment to their players by wanting to be there. And again, Durant has not said one way or the other, I'm out. He's never said that.
No.
As
much as media has said that he is out, he's gone. Yeah.
And all Klay Thompson has said through the course of this free agent year,
Klay is all. Yeah,
I want to be a Warrior.
Yeah, he said I am committed to the Warriors. He's happy about it as much as media has been trying to put out there of he's a Laker, he's going to Los Angeles, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. But, again, free agency or at least all that can get underway. I do believe we are sometime next week.
About
if not
3-4 days away from free agency. Yeah. All right, we're going to get off basketball real quick. I want to do a couple of things here. And I'm reading, and have we been critical? Absolutely. We have been critical of officiating. And
do you want to take a timeout before we get in this one? We have one more break.
All right, well, we could do that because we'll keep it kind of baseball softball.
You can allude to it, and then we'll talk about
it. We have been ones that have lipped off, and deservedly so, yeah. But it's starting to get out of hand now, and we'll talk more about that when we come back after these words.
Summer is just beginning, and it's a great time to plan all your home improvement and remodeling projects. This is Lexi.
And this is Aaron from Platte Valley Bank. A home equity line of credit can help finance summer projects, but can also fund summer fun like a boat, ATV, or even a convertible.
Stop in either Cheyenne location and we'll show you the hidden value in your home with a home equity line of credit from Platte Valley Bank.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Credit subject to approval. Certain restrictions apply.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
For almost 60 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Add to that live play-by-play sports featuring high school football and basketball, along with LCCC men's and women's basketball. Now combo that with KYOY-FM and you have Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM and FM radio stations. But we don't stop there. We also have 2 FM translators which serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYOY. And that equals a lot of bang for your advertising dollar. Radio yesterday and now today, along with our websites, web streams, and digital ventures makes us your one-stop shop. For more information, please call Don Morris at 307-637-0301.
Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast. Only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day, at Windmill and Del Range.
If you're looking for fun and adventure, Kia of Cheyenne is the place to start, and the 2019 Kia Sorento will help you find it. I'm AJ Miller, and the 2019 Kia Sorento will give you what you need to make things happen. This vehicle has plenty of power, all-season traction, safety features, technology, and comfort for any road you're on. Kia Sorento offers plenty of standard features for the money, and we're all about saving you money. Come in, call 775-0123, or go to KiaofCheyenne.com. We'll make it easy.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 89. Then for tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 54. On Saturday, it'll be partly cloudy with highs around 87. And on Saturday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 54.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on this show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Back again on Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Well, it's becoming a trend now, I guess, this summer, as we are seeing, well...
I wouldn't say it's this summer. It's
getting worse this summer.
I guess it's definitely picking up, but it is something where even here in the state of Wyoming with the Activities Association, even on WHSAA.org, where they posted a thing, I think, if not after the basketball season or around the basketball season, basically on the front page there of talking about this, of saying, hey, parents, cool your act.
Ease up.
Ease up on the refs. Ease up on the officials. We even had reports, whether it was at least during like regionals here in town, here in Cheyenne at Story Gymnasium, we had reports and some media outlets at least talking about, if not showcasing videos or audio about parents being questionable, or at least fans being questionable at the state tournament up in Casper, saying, kind of abusing, bullying, whatever it may be against officiating up there. So it's nothing that Wyoming's immune from. It is something that has been a growing trend throughout sports. It seems like throughout the nation, if not the world.
Well, and again, it's just not basketball. What we're finding out.
I can tell you it was in hockey with the Cheyenne Stampede.
Well, we're looking at baseball right now. We saw the incident down in Lakewood. That was just with parents and a young umpire. We had the young man in here, but again, Xander Jarosh, who's a young man, who is umpiring, who's not making bupkis umpiring for the CJL. And you got
again, it's essentially volunteer work, or at least again, he's making a few bucks or here.
But the thing is, parents, if you think you can do the job better, then get your happy butts out of the stands, go into the CJL office, for example, and volunteer or sign me up and go learn some umpiring. Now, I know where I have been critical on officials, and again, where I'm critical, and I think I'm justified, because I think in the game of basketball, the guys are bigger, they're faster, they're stronger, and the officials have been bypassed. I think they need another set of eyes on the floor.
They're clearly behind the game. They're slow on the court, and
But I don't say start a riot, go beat them up. I don't say that.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I saw an incident in Des Moines, Iowa, and this really ticked me off. And if I were that umpire, I would get healed up and I'd go find the guy and probably waste him. But this guy hits a ball, and the umpire calls it foul, and this guy comes in and charges after him and knocks him to the ground, breaks his wrist.
Well, I guess it wouldn't even matter at that point, again, where it's escalating, but, again, was it a fair call? I mean, was it, like, again...
no call.
Did it warrant of what this reaction was?
Yeah, no call is worth it. And the guy hovers over the umpire after he hurts him. Now,
that's definitely not...
Now, to this bearded idiot...
Well, give background. I mean, what we're talking about. What are we talking about?
It was a softball game.
Softball with, like,
slow pitch.
Okay, so again, kind of
very foul ball, and
middle-aged folks.
Yeah, and this guy goes ballistic because of a bad call.
Yeah.
Well, I still see it today, even when I'm playing over 50 baseball. But I don't go turn around to the umpire and
clock him.
Yeah, bump head to head with my face mask. The point is, so this guy gets thrown out of the game.
As he should.
He should be
kicked out of the entire
league. Kicked out of the league and out of that district.
Yeah.
He should not be allowed to play ball.
I don't think he should play athletics in general of anything.
No, and what he needs, and again, too, I think some of these folks need an anger management class.
Yeah.
And I think once they complete that anger management class, then maybe they could go before the board and come back and possibly play.
Yeah.
There's other situations going on now where umpires are just saying, screw it, we quit. We're not going to take this.
Which is fair.
Again, there's a friend of mine who passed away. You would know him. We were both battling cancer together. And his was more severe. He had stomach, esophageal cancer. Well, anyway, he was an umpire in addition to being a teacher.
Yeah.
And it was extra bucks for him. Making extra bucks, but he also...
Which is majority for, again, a lot of these referees, officials.
And again, too, he knew he never made all the right calls, but he tried to do his best.
Yeah.
Well, for the X amount of dollars that you get paid for the 3 hours of work you do, these guys are saying, it's not worth it. I'm out of here.
Which is, again, a fair assessment. And I think the one entity that we would love to talk to, and we had him in at least last week, even though he's removed himself from officiating again now as the radio chairman, that'd be one Chad Matthews, who, again, former at least official here in town, probably give a lot of insight on, what he dealt with even here locally in Cheyenne, or at least, is this something of a growing trend in his eyes where maybe that's why he got out of that system, or didn't want to...
No, he said his knees aren't there anymore. He can't keep up with the game. No, but the thing is, though, too, what do you do now? As an official, do you, if Nick Proetti gets in my face, do I tee him up? And 2 tees, you're out of the game. I mean, do you start doing
as
stuff
as
like
a ref, you can't go above and beyond the rules, or at least what is, the rules of basketball, baseball, whatever it may be. Right now, what is the solution to what is happening right now across the nation regarding just sports in general, with officiating players, fans, parents, whatever it may be? There isn't a simple solution. This is something where, is it something that leagues do require, or at least sit down parents and say, hey, you all need to take anger management, or we got to break down, or do we start putting heavy penalties on stuff?
You start barring them from the ballpark, because I think they're a danger. They are a danger to the game.
Without doing stupid classes or anything like this, I think you have to go to avoid this getting even more out of hand. I think you have to put the heavy punishment on these folks or players or parents, whatever it may be, of saying, okay, it's not even 3 strikes, it's 1 strike. You do anything exorbitant, you're gone.
Yeah, and here's
you
the
don't
deal,
return.
Too. And these parents or officials or players can come back at you and say, I've got an attorney. You go ahead and get your attorney. In social media today, everything's filmed.
Yeah, everything's recorded.
And your actions are recorded.
Yep.
So if you want to go that route, fine, pal. We'll take you to court. What this guy did in Des Moines was just I was just appalled by it.
Well, it's interesting how it's kind of blurred lines at this point where why are you doing this on a athletic venture or at least on a ball field where if you did that on the streets, you're going to jail. You're going away. I mean, that's a criminal offense.
Or you're going to get the snot beat out of you for even trying something like that.
That's true, too. But I'm just saying, what you're doing right now, again, were those parents that we saw in Lakewood, down in Colorado, this situation in Iowa and other events that have gone on. Again, it is obviously with the news, it's highlighting a lot of negative. I would say probably a good 99% of the games I've ever attended, whether it's pro to high school, I've not seen any major incidents like this or anything even close or anything that would warrant at least any newsworthiness regarding parents, players, officials, kind of combining efforts on anything. It is these select events that seem like they're growing even more. They're occurring often more and more as we go forward. But I think the simple solution for what is happening right now is you got to put strict restrictions on folks.
Well, anyway,
whether it is officials maybe egging on parents or players or whatever, again, it's got to go both ways. But I think you gotta at least most of these leagues have to have stringent rules and go, that's it, you're done. You do not return.
Well, and this guy Lance Ulrich in Des Moines, he's 29 years old. I mean, realistically, you need to get a life if that's your only thing in life.
It's Iowa. What do they got to do out there?
Well, you can go to the Field of Dreams. That's what he needs to do.
And corn. That's
but anyway, he's facing – this is what he's facing, a charge of assault with injury for the incident. So he's going –
again, even if it's on a ball field or whatever he's doing, it's still a criminal offense. And good. I'm glad that he's getting charged because, again, there should be no blurred lines between what is public and as a competition as a game. Well, it is still you're still dealing with a person. You're still beating up a person.
First off, profanity.
For me, words or whatever.
But he used profanity to express his displeasure, so the umpire tossed him.
That's fine.
You don't use profanity again. The authoritative figure out there is the umpire, the referee.
The home plate official, at least umpire has that right to do that. Again, you learn about some of those classes. Hey, if he's rubbing you the wrong way and he's saying words, get him out.
There are guidelines too, like you said. The Wyoming High School Activities Association has guidelines. I'm sure all baseball associations, football,
I'd just say
basketball.
If you have again with rec softball here in this town, if that organization, if it's a city or however that is operated, but either way, you go out in front, you get all these players gathered in one at least room, or get the literature out to these at least to these folks and just say, hey, here's the number one rule. You break that rule, you're out of our league. Indefinite.
You're banned.
You're gone.
That's right.
You don't get another chance. It is if you do anything above and beyond of just playing the game and just at least keeping within kind of norms. Don't go above and beyond. You're good.
And again,
I think these leagues have to threaten people like this at this point in time to go, if it happens, bye-bye.
Yeah, same thing. Whether it's in a gymnasium, whether it's on a football field, a baseball field, you exhibit this kind of childish behavior. And again, understand that you're playing a softball game, for example, in the stands. I understand we got to go, Nick. I understand that there are fans there, but there's also young people. And again, we're supposed to set examples for the young people, and we're not doing it. And I think, the penalty should be death penalty. And I'm talking ban.
I would use a better word than that. But
no, that's what they use in football. I mean, in college, they use the death penalty. This should be banned for life, and you can't play anymore.
Oh, yeah.
You can't be there anymore. All right, we do have to